And we're back
And we're back, baby.
at the motherfucking Cozy Show.
Uh-huh.
With my co-host.
Chris Mariscal.
God damn it. We're not getting any younger, are we?
We really aren't, bud. We just had a couple of birthdays, you know?
Hey, fuck it up. Here's a video of us dancing at as soon as the clock struck 12 for Chris's birthday.
Did you actually have one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Remember when with Linz and
Oh, yeah. We had a little movie night, and
at 12 o'clock?
that was nice.
That was good.
That was a good day. Yeah.
It was good.
It was nice to have a little, like, something to make me feel special, you know?
What did we watch?
Oh, we watched this movie called The Rental. It's a scary kind of thriller type of vibe. Do you remember? With the Airbnb, and then fucking everybody gets murdered. And that's the whole movie.
Did I fall asleep?
No, you're awake.
Huh.
You were awake, bud. Wait, no, you did fall asleep.
Yeah.
But I
Because
think it was
don't
after the
remember
movie was over.
The Rental.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Does the audience need to know this?
I'm sorry.
Hey, bud. I have a confession to make. I've been taking some hot-ass showers.
Chris, really?
Yeah. I fucking broke, dude. I broke like a fucking porcelain plate.
Oh, my God. It's so upsetting.
As soon as it started getting cold, dude, I just like every time I turn the shower on, and it's like a habit now, without even thinking about it, I turn the shower on and I turn the fucking temperature all the way cold as far as it goes, right? And I just stand there like the Joker, like hunched over. I'm just like looking at it. It's just every time I just think like, what if I just do it warm, you know? And I'd say for probably like a week straight, I've been doing warm showers.
You know what makes this worse is this whole week, Chris has been like, damn, like, it's been cold. But he's like, I don't want to do these cold showers, but I'm doing them.
Uh-huh.
Like, dude, yes. Like, it's been hard for me, too. Like, I'm really happy you're doing it, too, you know?
Yeah.
And this fucker right here the whole time.
Because we've been doing it for what? How long?
Months.
Months. Like since the summer. Since early summer.
It's been months.
Yeah.
And Chris started, what, like a month before me, I think? Or right around there, a couple
Something
weeks,
like
you know?
that, yeah.
I was like, fuck. You're goddamn right, you know?
God. And we always said, like, who's going to break first? I haven't been taking only hot showers, but, like, at night, I'll definitely take a hot shower.
Mhm.
Like, if it's after jiu-jitsu, it's so goddamn cold by the time I get home. My house is cold as fuck. I swear to God, I think the water's colder, too. Like, it's not just the fucking temperature. The water is, like, freezing. But
I think mine, I just realized this, is, like, dependent on the time of day.
Mm.
Because I took a cold shower. Yeah, or was it whenever we did jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was yesterday, sorry. And I was telling Chris that since it's been getting colder, it's been getting harder to do them, right?
Yeah.
But as a soldier I am, what I decided to do was switch up the intensity and just say, like, fuck that. Because usually before
yeah, you can't say a bitch-ass thing. Because you fucking... Jaime starts with hot, and then, like, the last minute, he does it cold.
I told
do
him.
the whole motherfucking thing
I told him my rule is that I had to be cold. Like, it has to be longer cold than it is hot, you know?
Oh, okay.
So I can't, like, cheat myself if I've been in the hot water for 10 minutes and then the last minute. Like, for the most part, I just get in there to get wet, hot, and then I just, like, put it cold. And then once I put, like, so I could, like, put my soap, everything, yeah, you know, all the pores are open, I think.
Yeah.
So then it's all good. But what I've been doing is just, like, going straight cold. Like in the morning, this morning, I just have it straight cold. So, like, what Chris does. But Chris is a little different. He'll just, like, wait outside the shower. Let it.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I don't get in and then start the water. I start the water, and then I stand there for, like, a minute, and then I get in. I don't know why.
I've never seen that, you know? Or,
Really?
or maybe I've seen that in movies because, like, I sort of, like, you know, and they go do something real quick.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. That's weird, you know? Let me know what you guys do because that is.
Yeah, let us know. It's one of those things where it's like, it's either one or the other.
Mhm.
You've never seen the memes where it's like, when you're standing there waiting for the water to heat up? I guess that doesn't apply to us. But
Every time I
when
do
you're
that.
standing there taking naked pictures in the mirror, you know? Or looking at yourself in the mirror.
Every time I do that, what I do is I'm in the shower when that happens. But I don't really get it brushed on me. Like, I do the whole, like I'm on the edge of bed, and I'm like, you know, and then it goes hot, right? I do that every time.
Wait.
So now that I think about it, like, why wouldn't I start if it was already?
Even when you took hot showers, you would start it already in the shower?
Yes.
Why?
So that's why, like, it'll
It's so much
be cold
harder.
for like a second, you know, like, and then I'm in the hot. You
No,
know?
it takes like 30 seconds to get hot.
No, it
Nah,
takes
like
a
10,
couple seconds.
but,
like a couple.
Damn. Depends where you are. My shower here, it takes a long time to get warm, but
Yeah, well, I feel like since this, you know, when you live in a house that could be considered a mobile vehicle, you know, in some states, I'm pretty sure the water's gonna be real cold, buddy.
Bro, I know Jaime so well by now. Like, before he even said anything, I just already knew. Like, I already knew. I started laughing so early. Oh, my God.
We can just tell by the
fucking
voice
bitch.
inflections.
Sorry I don't live in Ripon. In the fucking bougiest apartments ever, okay?
Speaking of bougie.
Jaime's room in his apartment, real quick, is bigger than my fucking living room. Like, his bedroom alone.
It's
in
not
an
that
apartment
big.
Is huge.
The apartment
The
itself.
ceilings are so high, too.
The apartment itself, its
It's a house.
characteristics are all big. So every time or spacious. So like, the living room is bigger than an apartment living room. Like, you know, normal. The balcony, the rooms are just like slightly bigger, and it's like, oh my God, thank God, because I would feel so suffocated.
I think if we're going square footage, your apartment is bigger than my entire house.
I think it's
A little
about the
bit.
same.
You think? I think it's a little bit bigger.
Because I think you're.
It's 3 bedrooms. My house is 2 bedrooms.
All right, never mind.
All right, what were you saying though?
Speaking of bougie, we have a cozy bougie B&B
Ooh,
that we're supposed to be hitting.
Uh-huh.
This weekend in Sac.
For both of our birthdays.
So we'll be doing a meet and greet for Saturday 11 to 12. If you guys want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, and then everything else.
Thinking the Midtown area, you know, maybe.
Downtown 6th and 5th.
Yeah, around there.
6th and 8th Street.
Follow Instagram, crime__ for the
Mhm.
update on that.
Did you answer scores? Wow.
Yeah.
So we're going to go there for our birthdays. We were planning on going to Jiu-jitsu the Saturday morning.
Yeah, out there.
I think
There's a gym
I
out
think
there.
we're simping because everyone wants to just go eat or something. You know?
Yeah, and we'd have to leave like pretty early. That's why I was simple. I was like, fuck, I have to wake up so early.
Are you excited?
I'm pretty hyped. I'm pretty hyped, but I'm also like nervous. It's this whole dilemma going on because, okay, we asked a shitload of people to come, like a lot of our friends, and you know, some said yes, some said no, some said I can only come for the day, I can't spend the night. So it's been like so much like getting it all like finalized. But yeah, so we got a B&B. The max amount of guests you can have at this B&B is 12, right? But you can tamper with the amount of guests and make it a little cheaper for you if you're ballsy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
we got the cojones.
we put that we have 10 guests, but we really have 11. But we also have like 3 or 4 people coming like during the day. And yeah, Airbnb threatens you like a little bit, you know, in the fine print saying like you could be fined or like charged.
You just
extra.
gave up your human rights if you're the extra guest.
They could take a kidney if you have extra guests. Yeah. So
They choose one organ of their choosing. Organ. They choose one organ.
they get the rights to name your firstborn child.
They're gonna keep your porn history.
Oh, fuck. They get to take 10 psi out of your front right tire. Anyways, yeah, we definitely are going over by like 4 or 5, something like that.
Yeah,
I think we have 15 guests in a 10-person B&B. That's what we're dealing with.
Exactly, and it's
And
like,
I'm scared because it's my account. It's mine. And I'm like, fuck, what if I get charged? Because I don't want to. Jaime has a different outlook on this, but I don't want to ask like all the guests like, hey, if I get fined, if that situation happened, I wouldn't want to ask them, hey, can you help me out with this fucking extra fee I got of like $500? You know, I would just feel bad because I feel like it's my fuck up. But Jaime doesn't give a shit, so he would ask everybody to pay for it.
Initially,
For his mistake.
Initially, I kind of confused the two, but I still kind of not necessarily stand by it 100%. But when he first mentioned that, he's like, "Oh, I feel bad." I was like, "Well, I wouldn't." I was like, I always think if something's gonna happen in the B&B, like I'll at least strongly suggest can we all split it, you know?
Yeah.
But that's more I was saying in cases of like the group kind of had all like a hand in it. Like, so if it smelled like smoke and the guy's like, "I'm charging you 600," or like we broke a chair, we broke the TV or something, where it's like, ah, fuck, like we're all fucked. We all could have done it, you know? Which is why I'm like super strict on my Airbnb rules. Like when I have my friends over, I'm like, don't smoke inside, don't do this, don't be too loud. You know?
Usually Jaime's the one, like we use his account, he books it and everything. So this is my first time like booking it myself when all my friends are going. So I'm like, fuck, because I know how they are. Like they smoke, you know, and like smoke a lot. So I gotta be a little anal about that. But I'll probably also be 3 sheets to the wind, so we'll see how that goes. You know, if I'm able to stay on top of things.
And what's good is I feel like I've set a pretty good standard, so that like I think all our friends are pretty like, oh, and we all clean up, and we all have
Unless your name's Chino, then you'll just smoke inside and not give a fuck.
And I'll pay you. Fucking kiss your daughter and slap your dog before he walks out. Just kidding,
Holy shit.
Oh my
That's
God.
a good one.
And we're not bleeping out your name.
No,
Wait,
we're
speaking
not.
of fucking fucked up
Dude,
friends.
it's getting hot in here. Are you hot?
No, it's pretty toasty.
I think it's because I'm next to the vent, dude. Holy shit. I'm
but you're wearing a
fine,
cutoff
but That's still
in October. November.
November 2nd.
What do you really
but-
want to show, huh?
You know what's interesting? Real quick side note. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm just flexing my
You
ankles.
give me anxiety.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. You keep doing it. Coming up on a year here of this podcast.
Yes.
Coming up on a fucking year anniversary. Like, we started in November of last year. I think it was like mid to late November.
I
But
looked it up. I think it was anywhere between the 23rd and the 29th.
wow.
So
That's the first time
and
we posted.
we'll by then we'll have
That's the first time we posted.
first time
Yeah.
we posted
Because it's starting to get cold again. And I remember it was like really cold when we started.
we
So
were wearing sweaters and long
Yeah.
sleeves, you know.
that's interesting.
But damn, thanks real quick for all the people who have been
Yeah.
here since the
Hell
fucking
yeah.
beginning.
Holy
Right now we
shit.
have 444 subscribers, 444.
I know, yeah.
So it's been a journey, but
Time
when we hit the year, I'm sure we'll do something or mention it again. So
we'll do like a full nude pod or something like that, you know?
that many of you have been suggesting. Imagine for the feet people, we're upside down. So our legs are the one that's talking and our heads are down in the couch, because and then we just put a mustache on our toes the whole time.
You. God, every time we talk, we wiggle. Dude, our friend Sierra sent us this reel today on Instagram, and it was this guy like interviewing people on the street, and he interviewed this chick, and he's like, "How much money do you make, or what's in your bank account right now?" Is what he said. She was like, $60K. He's like, "Okay, what do you do?" And she was like, "I sell pics on Feet Finder." I didn't know it's just an app that you can buy, and it's just like a feet pics app, and then you could just sell them. I looked on the app store. I thought a couple times about downloading it.
You should, because Chris got offered.
Twice. I've had to. Oh wait, no. Okay, I had one DM. And they all look like burner accounts. Like they all look like Finstas. There's
Yeah.
like it's like a cartoon for the Avi, but they have followers. But yeah, I got DM'd once by this person. I don't know what gender, if they identified or what, but they were like, "Oh, you have really nice feet. Like, has anybody ever told you that?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And then,
Of course.
they like ask me questions like, "Do you ever wear shoes without socks on?" Like all the time,
Uh-huh.
just fucking with it. But then this person was like, "Would you ever sell feet pics?" And I was like, "For the right price." And they were like, "How much?" And I said $200.
Hey.
And I never heard from him again.
Oh.
But then another person recently was like, "Has anybody ever told you you have nice feet?" Same thing, but then they haven't asked yet. I don't know if they'll ask, but shout out if you're watching, you cheap fuck.
So would you more
Yeah, fuck
serious?
yeah.
Okay, so people in the comments, if you are, comment.
Is it legal to solicit
Yeah.
feet pics?
There's no soliciting on. There's not a no soliciting sign.
We're on floating rock.
Isn't that crazy?
It's
That's a
like-
thing because I volunteered for what is it, Jeff Denham,
Yeah.
and
He's a congressman in our area district. Yeah.
I volunteered for him when I was
In high school.
High school, but it's crazy because I had just no sense of anything politically at all, even anything. I probably didn't
Yeah.
even know what a Democrat or Republican was too much.
Yeah.
I think when I volunteered.
What did you do? You volunteered
So-
to help him with his campaign?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, I would get phone calls, or I would phone call people and be like, "Have you voted?" We have a spreadsheet,
Oh,
Have
wow.
you voted? Who are you gonna vote for? It's very, I think, data influence, and then you
Mhm.
I think you give one proposition or something
Yeah.
and then you go to. This was the crazy thing too, is you go door to door, and you have to you have this thing where you it gives you your address, the name of the person, whatever.
Wow.
You go door to door
And you
ask them,
say,
"Hey, have
"Hi,
you?"
are you Margaret Thatcher?" Do you know their names already?
I'm
or
are you
no?
Margaret Thatcher, stage 2 cancer recovery diabetic?
How's your gay son? You know, every statistic.
So how do you? So how was your sandwich this morning? Hella threatening her for Josh. What's his name?
Jeff Denham. Oh, no, what's his name? I don't even remember.
I think is it Jeff?
No,
Denham?
you went for the other guy. You went for the Republican guy.
Which guy? What's his name?
Fuck. We just said it, didn't we?
I thought it was Jeff.
Or did we say
I
Jeff
think
Denham?
we
the
said Jeff
first time?
Denham.
We'll just roll with Jeff Denham for now.
We'll put the picture of the actual guy.
Yeah, it wasn't him, I don't think.
Yeah, I think he was. Later on, I realized he was the Republican Party. I was like, holy shit! I don't even know what he was doing.
You didn't know at the time that you know.
But I don't even know. I didn't know anything.
What he stood
you know?
for. Yeah. You never
but
looked in the mirror. Yeah.
we went door to door, and we would have to like ask all these questions. But I remember people being like really upset. Like it was almost like it was really like anxious sometimes. You know, I was really anxious because I'd be like, I'd have to knock on the door and then just be like, I don't know. They should be so fucking mean sometimes. I'm like fucking. I don't even know what age I am. What is this? I don't
Like
know. 15.
yeah.
I'm like Jesus fuck, bro. Obviously, I'm just volunteering and fucking. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ask if you voted or not. You know.
Yeah.
And I just like slam the door. They'd be like, or no
Yeah.
soliciting. And I don't think I'd do the no soliciting. That's when I found out that
It's
was
like,
a thing.
Why do you need to be mean? Like, you literally just say, like, I'm not interested, and that's it. Like, being mean is going to do nothing. Like, the next person who comes to solicit is not going to know that you were mean to the other person. You know? It's like, fuck.
That's
like,
it.
What are you gaining, you know?
I want to like remember what I would have to do. I might have to ask my friend Greta because she was also volunteering, and like, what the fuck did we have to say? You know?
You know what I thought about right now? It's like an interesting link here. I was just thinking, like, you know when you see in shows or like movies where like the main character is just going through like so much shit, and then they'll be like in a scenario where they have to like uphold themselves really professionally, and then at some point like the mask of sanity starts to slip, and they'll be like, can you just shut up? Or like, you know, like something will come out, they'll snap. I like realized in high school I kind of like witnessed that. It's kind of dark though. Okay, because our old like athletic director of our school, he's tragically deceased now, R.I.P.
Who?
We'll bleep it.
Oh yeah.
He died. So
Oh shit, yeah, he did.
yeah,
I was thinking his son died.
Jesus.
I don't know.
Anyways, like I remember we were all like lined up, getting ready for practice, cross country practice. That's how we met as runners. I've said that 5,000 times, but you know, keep getting new fans. So
Damn right we do.
yeah, damn right. But I remember there was this kid who would always be smiling. His name was Isaiah. I don't know if you remember him. He would always be smiling every day, just a fast smile on his face, like laughing at everything. He was just so happy, like such little kid, like happy energy. And then I remember the athletic director, like,
This is so fucked.
do you remember this?
Yes, I remember this.
He literally like, he wasn't already in a bad mood either. Like he was just doing his job, whatever he had to be doing with us. And he looks at this kid, Isaiah, and he was
Fucking
like,
happy, full of life, kid.
said, why are you so happy?
That's so fucked.
And I remember like me and like Nathan and you just being like, fuck. Like we thought it was so fucking gnarly. And like at the time I didn't even think like maybe he's going through some shit. I was just like, damn, you know?
Yeah, like you're a dick.
But as an adult now, I'm like, okay, I kind of get it a little bit. Like I'm sure he was like not happy
Yeah,
about
like
something.
with himself, you know?
And then just seeing somebody else, he was just like, what the fuck, you know? Like
His wife just died. His car just, you know?
dude.
But it sucks because it's like, sometimes, you know, you see people like that, not him, but fucking this. We used to call him Smiles. Didn't we used to call him Smiles? I think I called him Smiles.
That was the girl we used to play Xbox with from Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, we had a girl that we used to play Xbox with from Hawaii.
Yeah, we literally met her in like a random trio or something, you know?
That was so wholesome. We
That was
played
cool.
for a long time.
Months and months, we'd like text or whatever.
Hope she's doing good. If you're watching this one, maybe you're not. But, you know, hope you're doing good.
Mahalo.
Mahalo. It's crazy how, like, someone just, like, being happy, I guess, could just, like, piss you off. Like, that's how pissed you are, you know?
And that's probably what those people thought when you were ringing their doorbell. Like, you know, they just had shit. They just weren't having it.
Like,
and then you come, this fucking kid who doesn't even know who the fuck he's representing.
My glasses are like this.
And they just fucking let you have it, you know? I forget what that's called in psychology. I think it's called projection or deflection, something like that.
It kind of shows, too, like, like, just how much, like, when you grow older, I guess your knowledge expands in a sense, you know? But, like, this is also could be, like, a term of, like, the informed versus the misinformed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, as me coming up, obviously I don't know much. I'm just doing what I'm doing. I just wanted to get the letter of recommendation, which I didn't even fucking use ever.
Yeah.
Is there a chicken here?
It's my refrigerator. It's making a weird noise.
Oh, it probably came with the place. That's why, huh? So, like,
We fall through the floor right now? Oh, but
this thing could only withstand 500 pounds, and you're 200 of them?
I love when you guys make fat jokes against me because I'm like by far the lightest person, you know, and always have been. 135, still climbing.
God damn right.
God damn it, dude. Anyways.
But like as me, you know, like who doesn't know like really the situation at all. These people are probably like, they're all older, you know, mostly older. It's like 50, 60. It's like they have so much knowledge and like bias and like information about it that I just don't know, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why they have such strong feelings versus like, I don't give a shit, you know?
So, okay, what would you ask them? Can we do a role play?
I don't, that's what I'm trying to remember, because I'd be like, oh, I don't know, maybe like, hey, are you...
Margaret Thatcher.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't know, like, are you planning on voting? I think it's like planning on. Yeah, it's always planning on because it's like election time or something, you know? Are you planning on voting this coming election?
I'm registered. I haven't done it yet, though.
Well, I'm a registered sex offender, too.
Fuck.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm mistaken.
Whoops.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so what
okay, but no. So I would just ask if they're planning on voting, and then I think I don't know. Like, there's like a hook there because it's not that many questions. Damn it, you know. You just ask him this, you ask him that, you ask him that, and then it's that.
Yeah.
I just can't fucking remember for the life of me. But that was it.
Damn, because I'm just thinking, like, would you even know to say, like, oh, well, I'm representing Congressman Jeff Denham.
I think I would
and
say
he
that.
stands for this and this and this.
I think so.
Do you stand for that?
Do you stand for that? As if he's in a wheelchair?
Oh, fuck. You're on one tonight, huh?
Like,
God
don't
damn.
get up, please. I'm sorry.
Fuck, he stands up. He's like 6'6". He's like looking down at you.
It's just because he had to get dick size
shit,
reduction.
dude.
He's got big ass balls.
His testicle size is now so large.
It's funny because today at work, my coworker was like, we kind of talk about jiu-jitsu sometimes, right? And she was like,
She does jiu-jitsu?
no,
Oh, okay.
I did jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You did jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I do.
Noel doesn't because he skips practice.
Yeah.
Just kidding. You've been doing good, Noel.
Skipped it for a little girly the other day.
God damn,
Woo,
simply.
shit.
Noel's off the market. I'm just kidding.
Ladies, everybody just give up, okay? You have no shot.
Just move on. Grow up. Look at the mirror. Go and look in the mirror. Grow up. He's gone. No, so we're talking about something just like fighting, you know, because they're always like, oh, you know, fighting this person.
They're like, what if this happened?
Yeah,
what would you
know?
do? Yeah.
And then my coworker was like, yeah, like I'll get my son to fight you, you know. And she has 3 sons: an elder, a middle, and the youngest, right?
Nice.
The oldest is normal, or not normal. The oldest is.
Oh my god, no.
The oldest can walk. The youngest can walk. I'm trying to give you context here. The middle one can't.
Say it again, not laughing. I missed that.
The oldest can walk. The youngest can walk. The middle one's in a wheelchair.
Okay, got it.
So when she said it, I was like, yeah, I'll fight him. She's like, no, the one in the wheelchair. And then I was like, yeah, I'd fight him.
Double down.
Because the guy next to me was like, oh shit, like I wouldn't fight him. And I was like, I don't give a fuck, you know. And then she's like, I think she'd just pull out a gun and like shoot you, you know, because they all have like fucking guns. And I was like, Jesus, you know?
Yeah. That's always the argument. Or like there's no striking in jiu-jitsu, so it's like, I don't know. In a street fight, it's so weird. Especially for me, like such a beginner. I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I can handle myself yet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Should I shoot for that double leg or something, you know?
Something, you know? Something.
Something. I just want to tell this little story here. The other day, at jiu-jitsu practice, I don't know how good I am at taking criticism, because sometimes I feel like I'm pretty good at being like humble and being, oh, like thank you, I didn't realize that, or like, you know. But sometimes I take criticism like really personally, you know. And this was one of those times. There was this guy that came to our gym for practice that night. He's from like a different gym. This is the first time I ever seen him, and I like rolled with him, right? And we were going, and he submitted me like for the first time. I think he submitted me multiple times because he was a 3-stripe white belt, which means he was probably like pretty close to becoming a blue belt at some point, right?
He's a 3-stripe white belt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a 0-stripe white belt, so I'm like really new. And yeah, he submitted me. I tapped out, and he was like, "You need to calm down. You need to relax. You just need to breathe, okay?"
He's like, you need to say sorry to your sister.
You should reach out to your dad more. Fuck, I'm like, what?
He's like, here's your dad's number.
He's like, I could tell from the way you slipped right into that choke that you're a fucking bitch.
He's like, you obviously can't let go because you're holding my grips on for tight. You liked when I held you a little too much, so I know you haven't had affection in the last 2 months. He's Sherlock Holmes.
Fuck. But it's just the fact I think that he was a stranger and he said it so goddamn like intensely. Like it wasn't like, hey, have you ever like heard of like, just relaxing a little bit? He was like, you need to do this. And I was like, oh fuck. So it just struck me kind of like weird, And then when he was leaving, he shook my hand and he was like, hey, see ya, buddy. It's just the buddy, He calls me buddy. I just turned 23 years old,
He's like, hey, keep working out. He's not even about that anymore. Hey, keep working on that resume.
You never amount to anything. Yeah, that one was a little rough. I don't know why. I just didn't like it. I was just like, listen.
Yeah, I think the buddy there is like
the buddy was just a little demeaning. And it's also, I think, this kind of ties in with something else I want to talk about a little bit. I feel like you get so much more triggered when somebody gives you like, they tell you the hard truth about something that you already know is true, and you're already like frustrated trying to like resolve it, and you haven't, and then somebody tells you and you're like, I fucking know, dude, like shut up, That's kind of what it was, because like I know I need to like relax more and go a little slower and breathe, which is like a common white belt error, I guess. And so yeah, I think it was just like, fuck, I already know that. And then he told me, but he told me so seriously, and then he called me buddy. I'm just like, up yours, pal,
Up yours.
No, he was a cool dude. Nice.
Yeah, like I'm sure
he meant it well, but I just took it really personal.
Maybe like the more you talk with him, I'm sure you're gonna find out like that's just how he talks.
Exactly.
Like that's just how he is.
Just a little more intense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Call him out next time. I'll show.
Something I wanted to bring up. I feel like ever since I got super fucking high on the podcast, that's one thing that did this to me. Because I got super high and I started like evaluating all my thoughts like really heavily. And just like my overthinking tendencies, I just became like so aware of them that day. And that just stuck with me after that. I was like, Jesus, like I really do overthink about everything. That happened. And then I think it was like a week ago, like 2 weeks ago, Isaura, like, dude, she fucking laid into me. I was like venting to her about something, and she responded like so fucking like straightforwardly. She's like, Chris, we gotta fucking fix this. She's like, nothing is ever this big of a deal for you to be thinking about it this much. Like, your overthinking is such a problem, and like it's gonna affect everybody around you, and it's like a really big deal. Like, how have you not gotten over this? Mm-hmm. I was just like, fuck. Like, it just pissed me off so much because I know it's true. And then similarly, this was like in the summer, like me and you had a talk like that. I don't know if you remember. It was like after the pod. We stayed here and talked for like fucking 3 hours.
Oh, yeah. That we posted like, about it.
Yeah. You told me that. We'll put the picture if I can find it. Should be a memory.
It's on the archives. Yeah. Story.
You told me too, like similarly, you were like, fuck you, bitch. You were just the same thing. Like, same thing. You were like, it's just gotten so bad, and like it's gonna start annoying people around you, and it stings. Like it just hurts so bad. I was like, fuck, because it's true.
I think I was pretty brutal there too.
You were.
I think this was. I was like something when I was like, oh my god, like I can't believe I'm really like just trying to like be as down deep, because I think I told him what I was like. Yeah, like Chris, if you keep doing this, like you're probably gonna lose people. Like like you're gonna lose friendships, and you're gonna lose out on things.
Like people aren't gonna want to be around you if it's like so bad. And I was like, yeah, but just the culmination of all those like factors, I've just been so like in my head lately, and I'm so tired of it. It's just so exhausting because I'm trying to like correct it, but it's really hard to like. It's harder to unlearn than it is to learn something. Because once it's a thought, like that bitch is in there, So it's like, I've been doing this my whole life for fucking 23 years, But yeah, every time I catch myself overthinking, I try to like tell myself like, Chris, you're overthinking. I fucking don't do this until hopefully I'm at a point where I don't do it anymore, But it's just like, god damn, I've been working on it really hard and it's really exhausting.
That's good. And I think I know you're a big overthinker too, And sometimes I forget like how much you overthink even like the smallest like quick decisions. Because usually I'm like, oh, Chris, you're an overthinker, because he is like having that exterior dialogue with me, right? Like, oh, like, oh, let's go get something to eat. Oh, but sometimes I forget that you just even overthink, but like with quick exchanges, because I offered him a water bottle, right? And I was like, wait, no, did you just say no? You said no, right? You're just like, no.
Yeah.
And it was like whatever, like, oh no, and I put it down, and I was thinking, I was like, why would he say no to water? Like, I don't think he has anything to drink. We're eating.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't have his hydro. It's like we haven't offered him anything else. Why would he say no? And I looked, I was like, this is a water bottle. And I was like, Chris, did you say no because it's in a plastic water bottle? He's like, yes. I was like, God. I was like, Chris, like, just drink a water bottle, you know? But like small decisions. Okay, this might be just preference.
It's called being primal, but
when I offered
when
I offered you ice cubes for ours, did you have any weird reasoning? Cuz
it's because it's in a plastic ice cube tray, and I don't want the microplastics inside of my body.
That was so quick. I was just like, oh, do you want ice cubes? No. And I was like,
dude, it's
okay.
crazy
But then in my head, I was like,
for
how
a
did
second,
know?
I was waiting for you to ask me, why don't you want ice cubes? Is it because of the plastic? But you didn't. And I'm so shook because now you did.
I did.
That's wild. That was like 20 minutes ago. Holy fuck.
You know what they say? When you have an intuition like a cock, you're never...
That's a Freudian slip, bud. Is that how you view yourself?
Just
have
like
some respect, okay? Have some self-respect.
I look in the mirror and I'm just a giant cock. It's like
You're just a fucking dickhead. Has everybody ever told you that? Where do you get off? I have another topic. So, my mom's been back on the dating market. I don't even have her permission to talk about this, but fuck it, who cares?
What a woman, huh?
Okay, so my parents divorced. Let's wait for Jaime's little quip here. I'm sure he's gonna have something to say. My parents divorced.
So when Chris's dad got the news that Joanne was pregnant, they divorced. I want to add some context there.
Yep. My parents divorced when I was like 15. My mom was single for a long ass time, and then I think when I was like 19 or 18, she started. I guess that's only 3 years, but yeah, she started dating this guy. They dated for like 3 years, which I thought was gonna be weird at first. It's like interesting because I thought it'd be hella weird that my mom was with somebody else. But I remember like, okay, he was a really good dude. He did like a lot for our family, especially in like really like dark moments that we had. He was like really there for us and like stepped up as kind of like a father figure, which was really cool. And honestly, I just really liked having him around, which is probably like weird to say because it's like in my father's place, you know, somewhat. But I really liked having him around, and like part of it just felt like so normal with him being there. I was like, damn, it feels like family again, you know? Like there was just more like some part of it was just like there's so much more structure now to this family. Like there's a male like here, you know? Even though like I don't think he ever like passed a boundary where he was like trying to be my dad or like never told me what to do, you know, nothing like that weird. It was just, he was just there. And like I always liked when he was just there kicking it at the house, you know. I was like, that was cool. And then they broke up after like 3 years.
And it was ruined. And then Joanne cheated.
Imagine. And then that was sad. Like honestly, ever since I've been like, damn, I miss Don, you know. Like he was a cool dude, and I miss him being around. But my mom recently, she started going on a date with this new guy. And he came over to the house yesterday, and I was there. I went to go like help my mom do something, and then I left real quick to go put like air in my tires, do a couple errands. But she was like, "Oh, do you want some soup?" Right? So I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go do those errands." You finished with those errands? And then I came back home to get the soup, and he was there, and I was like, "Fuck," because she told me he was gonna come over. But I didn't think he was going to be there that soon. So I was like, God damn it. Just because I hate making small talk. Like, I fucking hate, like, so where do you work? And then I'm like, I don't work. And then I don't want to tell them about the podcast either. So then they just think I'm just doing absolutely nothing, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, walked in. This is the first time I've really done this too. Like, I walked in as a goddamn man, you know? I walked in, I looked him in the fucking eyes. And I said, God damn it, it's fucking nice to meet you. I gave him a real firm one. A real firm one, and it was long too.
He's like this. Hey, relax.
Oh, sorry. Jiu-jitsu. I forget sometimes.
But, ooh, didn't even hurt you there.
No, I held it, which is kind of weird because like usually it's quick and I'm like whatever, but I held it and I looked him in the goddamn eyes. It was literally like 5 seconds long.
Oh my God. It's like you don't know what if you've been here for a month, a week.
You don't even know your fucking name anymore.
You got to hit him with the whole. It's nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you.
Dude, yeah, anyways. But yeah, that was fine. And then it was interesting because my mom and him like sat at the table with me in the middle of the day while I was eating my soup, and I was like, damn, this is a little much, you know? Like, you guys don't need to do all this. But because I just, especially when I'm eating, I always like to just have privacy because like I'll go on my phone or like watch something, you know? But yeah, they sat there with me and I was like, fuck. So like I was forced to engage, you know? There's this meme that Jaime sent me. I'm pretty sure you sent it to me a little while ago. And it was like me when my mom absolutely like disrespects me just to start a conversation with her friends.
Sorry.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like,
I think it says when my mom makes like humiliates the shit out of me so she could get a good joke in front of her coworkers or something like that, you know?
Dude. And
just like
and my mom's always done that. Like, it's not always humiliating, but she's always bringing up my personal business just as like a conversation starter. And I'm like, can you talk about something else? Like, fuck. It's like usually shit that I don't want people to know, you know? And
like her little girlies come over. They're like, so has Chris's dick grew a little bit since, you know, I know he's been having trouble. John's always the same thing. Like, no, that kid, you know, as you're there playing with your toys.
Has your hijo Jaime, can he get his dick hard? Because I heard he was struggling with that.
As I'm trying to make food for them. Dude, my sisters do the same. It's funny because I think Angel sent a snap.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I don't know how. He's like, but every time he's like, I talk with Jaime's sisters. He's like, they're just talking bad about him.
Yeah,
you know?
talking
like,
shit about
they're
Jaime.
just talking shit about him. Like, you know,
Yeah.
he's not doing this or he's doing this or he's just dirty. Like, just crazy shit where I'm like, God, you know, like,
Yeah.
I'm not even that bad. Like, you know, like, it's like, oh, well, like, Jaime's room's always dirty. And I'm like, dude, it's like, I just have like a dish there, you know,
Exactly.
and like my bed's not made.
And
you know?
Jaime's room's clean as fuck now, too.
Exactly. I'm like, God.
The worst is when they start it and they'll be like, well, Chris molested a donkey the other day, you know? And then they'll be like, and then they stop and they're like, tell him. And I'm like, you tell him. What the fuck? You started
it.
Exactly.
Finish it.
And the older I've gotten, I do that. I'm like, no, go ahead. Oh, by all means. Like,
How much am I a piece of shit?
yeah, exactly. So she did that a little bit with him. Not even bad though. Like she wasn't running me through the mud, but she was just like, it's even a pet peeve, even when she just uses me as like a conversation. I'm like,
Yeah.
grow up. You
She's
know?
like, so where do you live, Chris? And she's like, well, he's practically homeless with what he's living in.
It was funny because she brought up my house, this current house, and then he was like, oh yeah, right, you guys live in the trailer park. I was like, fuck. Anyways,
He's like, oh, right, like right off the. Are you guys intense?
oh
I
yeah,
forgot what it was.
right across the street from the nuclear power plant that went awry, and everything's radiation now.
Oh, the abandoned dump. That's what we used to call it.
That's what we always called it growing up. So she brought up, first she brought up the podcast, right? Which already I'm like, you know, like, just, I don't really like adults knowing about it in my life because it's just like, it's so personal, you know? And yeah, I don't know. But she was like, yeah, he has a podcast. And you know what? Let me backtrack here. I'm going to give you guys a better understanding of what happened because this part's also kind of interesting. Their first date, me and my mom and this guy, they went out to like a brewery because his friend is in a band and they're playing, right? And I guess there's this other couple there and they were like super, super, super drunk and they wouldn't leave him alone. Like the whole night they kept talking to my mom and her mans, but like they were drunk as shit. So they were just like sharing so many intimate details. And I guess this like middle-aged ass lady was like, yeah, we've been dating for like this long and we have sex in our hot tub all the time.
Wow.
And then she told my mom, I told you this part. She was like, yeah, one time he sucked on my toes and I came.
Oh my God.
Like, it's so vulgar.
As they're just like drinking a Coke and rum.
Yeah. So I brought that up to this guy the other day when we were sitting at the table yesterday. And I was like, oh, I heard you guys had like an interesting encounter with that couple. And he was like, oh yeah, that was crazy. And then like he talked about the feet part like briefly. And then my mom was like, oh yeah, it's funny. Like Chris actually has a podcast and all of his fans are like, you know, dudes who just watch for their feet. I was like, God damn, you know.
She went in deep.
She went deep.
Imagine like as explained, because you're like, oh, you know, heard you got an interesting encounter with a crazy group of people. He's like, well, they weren't that crazy. I mean, feet sucking isn't that bad, right?
God damn it!
What's extreme
Welcome to
about
the club.
He's like, oh my God, you too?
You're gonna fit in just fine.
Are you part of the Foot Society? He has a pin inside.
Bro, in the back of my head, I was thinking that because my mom was like shitting on feet people. No offense to y'all, but like, she was just like, yeah, isn't that interesting? Isn't that like weird? And then she was like, but the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, what if this guy's like secretly into it? Mm-hmm. And then that's just my overthinking ass, dude. I'm always thinking of every situation.
No, that's good.
And I'm like, what if he's into it and then he's just feeling so ashamed inside right now? You know, I feel bad.
Because you got to think,
you never be too careful.
People have burner accounts for a reason because they're ashamed or something, you know?
Yeah, never
and like, especially when people jump the gun on things, which I hate when people do. Like, they don't get a good analyzation of the person before they speak, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like that comment with your mom is better if she had talked about him before about the feet thing, and like she knows that he doesn't like it. Because like, how do you just like assume they don't like it? You know? Like, I don't assume anything. You know? I'm always like, okay, well, what's the room here? You know?
Yeah, no, I feel it. I knew somebody who had a burner Instagram account, and it was called Bible Quotes Daily.
Was it Smiles?
So keep an eye out for that one.
This is it.
It was. We'll bleep that.
No. No burners needed.
I thought that was so funny, but also I'm like, why the fuck do you have a burner account? You know, like, because I feel like most people I know that have had them, they make them just to like stalk people, but they don't want them to know, like, I viewed your story or whatever. I'm just like, look at me. Grow up. It's just like, what are you
that's
doing?
I know that's a big problem for like strict people too, because like my ex was like Middle Eastern, you know?
Yeah, she's pretty whack. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. No, she was super cool. Everybody loved her.
And she would complain, like sometimes she'd post on Twitter or whatever, and I'd be like, well, like, why don't you post the pictures you want to post, or like this, you know? Or why don't you have like an Instagram? She's like, cause just like my family, you know? Like, she's like, my family will make like fake accounts and try to like sign, you know? At least even that, like, you know, only 30 people, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's crazy how people just go through that extreme just to see something, you know? Because it's not her direct family. It's like, these are like cousins, you know? And especially like in their culture, it's very like status based, you know? I remember like talking to you about it, like very like, you know, like you have to maintain good reputation, like, you know, you and your family. Yeah. So it's like all eyes are on you within the community, which is like so annoying, you know?
Shit. Yeah.
I was thinking that even today, like I was hanging out with someone who had like a stricter bedtime, and I was like, Jesus, like I just can't even imagine that still, you know?
Like a curfew, yeah. Yeah, when you're 23, it's just like...
when you're over the hill.
When you're over the hill. When you're fucking coming up quick on death. It's...
And me and Chris were at a Halloween party. Pictures here. And when we were sitting on the table, and they're like, take a shot if you're younger than the person saying the cards. And the guy next to me was saying the cards, and he was 21. And this girl took a shot and it was 20, you know? She was 20.
Oh, wow.
And it's the one that was next to you.
Yeah, I thought she was older than that. That's why I was like, oh, wow.
And I was like, damn, like, just even 20 and 21. I guess 21 is not that bad. But like 20, I'm like, Jesus, like 2 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
3 years ago being in like different scenes. Yeah, and I was thinking like, Chris, fuck, you know? Like, I'd be so depressed.
Almost 30,
you know?
dude. Yeah.
I like we always talk about age, like
it's the worst thing ever. We're so young.
I think we've gotten better at it, though.
Yeah, I think so too. We don't really dwell.
I think I don't care until certain situations where I'm like, wow, I'm older, you know?
Anyways, I'm gonna cut back to the thing, right? So my mom brings my podcast up. She brings up that fucking our OnlyFans are people who just watch our feet, right? And then he's like, oh, interesting, you know? And then she's like, but they had this girl on who has a fans only. She calls it fans only, which is so fucking funny. And then she makes me describe to him what OnlyFans is. And then he's just sitting there like, wow, you know, like, holy shit. And then where to go from there? It's just like, just the way she was using me for conversation. But then it went to an interesting place because then we got on that kind of topic, right? And then they were talking about dating apps because they met on like dating apps, which I think is so fucking interesting that like older people are using dating apps, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, wow, you guys are really doing the damn thing, you know?
Just grow up. meet at a pub or something, you know?
Exactly. No, but it's fine. I don't really frown upon it at all. But they were talking about that, and then the guy, my mom's man's, he was like, yeah, I know this guy that I went fishing with one time. He's like, he's not even my friend. I just kind of met him by chance. I'm trying not to say so many details, but he like owns this like fishing store, right? And he met him that way. And then he's like, oh yeah, let's go fishing, whatever. So we went fishing with this guy, and the guy was telling him, he was like, oh yeah, I'm on like these different dating apps, but he's on like dating apps that are fucking gnarly. Like he was telling him about this one where you match with the woman, and I guess it's like the arrangement is like you match, they pretty much just give you their address to their home, and then they tell you like how to get in, like the code or whatever. They leave a door unlocked, and all the lights are off, and the woman's just like in the closet. The guy comes in and just bangs her and then leaves.
That must be what Jose was on.
Go watch that episode for context. But yeah, I'm just like, no way fucking old people are doing that shit too. Like, what the fuck? One, that's so gnarly already. But two, it's like, no way you're like 50 and you're still doing this shit. Like, grow up, you know?
You're on home invasion time, you know?
My God, that's fucking gnarly. Like,
that is
no way
crazy.
you're still living out your fantasies as a fucking boomer, you know?
That's sick, though, because I feel like that's time when you want to just... Not that sick. But when, like, when you want to do everything you can, and, like, now you have, like, a little bit of money you don't have to worry about, you know? Like, for example, if I was into, like, crazy-ass leather things, you know?
Like, what, like sexually?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Not leather, sorry. What is it? Latex?
Latex?
Leather.
The one where you're stuck in the table?
I just have you in a giant football for leather. Pigskin. Like, at 17, you probably can't have, like, your own fucking thing, you know? Like, your own get-up.
Yeah.
But then at 28, it's like, you got money to spend, you know?
Yeah.
So I think for older people, it's like, you could actually just drive around and do this shit is, like, it's probably nice for them, you know? And they don't care anymore. I'm sure their fucking wife's deceased or divorced, you know?
Yeah, you could finally, like, take that 12-incher strap on right up your ass, you know?
I forgot who sent it or a story or something. They were like looking through their parents' fucking cabinet or something. I thought you were here, and they found like a dick extender, you know, like an attachment.
Oh, you slip it over your penis. It's like a sleeve, but it's like it makes your cock like twice as big. Yeah,
exactly.
And long, you know? Doesn't make your cock, but it's as if your cock was like that big. Who?
I don't know. One
of your friends found that? One of your little friends?
Would you try that?
No.
Well, like
it just be so demeaning
I'm
to me.
Suggesting.
Would I put it on my penis?
Like, I think you should.
Okay. I mean, if it was like, if it was it's just like, imagine it was your girlfriend, like someone you care about so much, and she's like, babe, I want your dick to be bigger. Can you put this on? I feel like mentally that would do like a little bit to you. You'd be like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I think it.
Because I'm tight.
I think it would be a little like, but I think it'd be kind of fun because it'd be like Big Dick Tuesday, you know? Like maybe I just wear it on Tuesdays.
Big Dick Tuesday, huh?
She's like hella depressed throughout the week, and that's the only day she's happy. I think I'd do it, but like it's just like an attachment, like Call of Duty. You have the laser on it.
Did you ever get like kicked in the balls?
No.
If your girlfriend was like, "Could I please just like lightly kick you in the balls?" I just know you hate pain, so I know it's like a big one.
No, but it's like if I love her, I'm like, I want to make you happy, whatever, you know. Maybe just like a little like.
Oh my god, that was hard.
Maybe, but like it'd have to like she'd have to really enjoy it, and it'd have to be really rare, you know.
So if you were a girl.
What is it? No? What is
it? And if you imagine you're a girl and you're gonna get banged, what kind of guy are you looking for to bang you right up the pussy? I hate that I even said the word pussy. It sounded so disgusting.
Right up the pussy.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't have a qualifications if I let you know.
I think we both probably have qualifications deep down, but I don't know if we could get to that level right now. You know?
Who would I find? I don't know, because in general too, I find, like I said, like me and Chris are pretty like open about like saying if a guy's attractive or not.
Oh,
You know.
yeah.
So I'm trying to think like maybe if I was a girl, it'd kind of almost be the same thing. Like, but just I'm sure with more intense
Probably.
intense feeling. Because right now I just say it like, oh, like this guy looks attractive. Like it's more of an
Yeah.
observation. You know. When from a girl, I'm sure it's like observation, but now that's also like excitement and like, you know, like you want to pursue that. Yeah, exactly. You know,
that makes
so
sense.
I'm sure like all my standards that I have now of just like who I think is just attractive in general will probably switch over the
It's
same.
just
You know,
the same. Let's call a spade a spade. We're just gonna let Noel fuck our bagussies.
I let Noah.
What?
I was getting confused between hammer and ham. Hammer me.
Jesus Christ. Damn it. I had another point to make and I fucking forgot. Is there anything you could put in here?
I was saying this is such a stupid thing, or not a stupid thing, but stupid thing to go back to. But I kind of hate when guys like assume that girls are only upset because of like sex and stuff, or like can like oppositely get happy, like are just happy when having sex. You know, like I think it's like.
Wait, can you explain that again?
Like I'll give you an example. Like when a girl's upset, like sometimes like a guys will be like, oh, she just needs to get like dick. You know? And it's like,
God, that's gnarly.
but like I kind of just said that earlier because I was saying like the whole like.
Who the fuck did you say that to?
Right now. Well, I was just like, oh, like she'd be depressed, but then like the day I give her that. But it was more just saying like.
Yeah,
they would
just go ahead and cover your tracks on that one.
No, but it's also because I want to say that because I hear it at work a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And well, it's interesting too because even like the girls like that, she'll be like, oh, like if I'm in a good mood, like she's like, I just got some, you know?
Some, yeah.
And then I was kind of thinking like,
I see it
oh,
in
that's
movies
cool,
and
you know?
shows a lot too.
Mhm.
They're like, girl,
Well, yeah.
you just need to get some dick, you know?
exactly.
And I'm like, oh, it's a little surface level.
A very surface level, you know?
It's
So I'm
Jesus.
like, I just hate that because then I think it just like demeans the woman, you know, a lot. Like just the basic.
Yeah.
What about everything else? You
I
know,
don't think it's like a good like long-term source of happiness, you know, or not even happiness, but just to make you
like
better.
the soul.
Yeah, I don't think it's fulfilling you. Like I think cold showers are something that like long-term is like fulfilling us. Like it's making us just a little bit better as a person, you know. But I think sex is not one of those things that's like, I don't know. It just depends on the person though. It's like I just don't think long-term, like getting a good fuck is gonna make you like so much happier, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, well, you just know people who just like they just use sex as like every once in a while they just need like something, so they just go have sex with someone, you know?
Something.
So I'm just trying to think like maybe in that sense.
Do you think it's more of like a drug, or do you think it's more of like a long-term happiness thing?
I don't know because I feel like the people who do that view sex so comfortably. It's almost like when you want to comfort yourself and like you just have like a movie night and chill.
Mm-hmm.
For this person, they find comfort or like happiness in just like going out to like a place and trying to get like I'm just thinking of someone like a girl who just like has a job but is single, you know, and just like every once in a while just like goes out just to like have sex. Like she just like goes out
To be
she like has it, you know, yeah. Like she goes to a pub and she just wants to go railed and then she goes back. But like I just feel like that way of viewing so like gnarly, you know, like it just seems so like so simple,
just
going out and then the next day being like, oh, okay, like you know what it is and that's it.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a fine line sometimes because it's like, where's the next one, you know? Like if you're doing that, just going out for that reason. But I don't know, I feel like it's just something that varies person to person. You know what I was thinking about us imagining ourselves as women getting banged. Lindsay always says how like she doesn't like big penises. She likes like average or like smaller ones, I guess.
What's average?
Just kidding. I don't know if she said small ones, but she says she definitely doesn't like big ones, you know? And I never even thought of that viewpoint because I feel like you always just think as a guy, like the bigger the better, penis-wise. But it's like, damn, she really doesn't like it, you know? And then even the other night, she showed us a picture or like a video of this guy's fucking dick. And it wasn't even from her. Like a girl sent it to her, which is proving my point here. Like I'm sure probably like less women like big penises than we actually think, you know? Because this girl sent the video to Lindsay and she was like, girl, like this is the biggest fucking dick I've ever seen. And they're both like, dude, I'm so scared of that. Like that would be terrible, you know? And I'm like, wow. Like it was a big cock though.
It was huge.
It was really big. I was pretty drunk like watching it, but I was like, damn, like it was
huge,
really thick, and it was like, yeah, it was a big one.
I feel like What?
I'm just thinking about the fucking guy's penis.
Here's a picture.
There's a video too. He's like waving it around and shit. Like, Jesus Christ.
I think it's switching a lot too or just like, because I'm sure before it was like really big, like, you know, like fucking, it's a stupid subject, but like just like big dick is like that's what you should have. That's what you should want, you know? And now it's becoming more like, yeah, like dicks are fucking big, but that's like, yeah, kind of like,
yeah,
it's overrated. It sucks. It, like, I'm sure like it's an annoyance. I'm sure sometimes it's good, you know? But I think more is like the fear or like the bad of like small dick, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's what's a bigger now. It's just like, oh yeah, we get it. Like, you know, like not all guys have big dicks. Like, like normal size is great. Like, you know, it works fine and everything. Big dicks are like, they're kind of a lot and everything. But like, I feel like a lot of people still think like a smaller dick is like humiliating or funny. Like that is like rare. Like, you know, like you get someone with like a 2-3 inch, which I'm sure is fucking half of you guys, you know? I'm just kidding. Like I'm sure
it's probably like 20 to 30%.
Dude, like, I'm sure, you know? Like I'm sure it's not that rare, like whatever.
Yeah.
You know? But like that I've never really heard talked about or just like seen or anything, you know, besides in a humiliating setting. You know?
I was watching porn the other night on our sacred website. And there was this video, and it was like, I think it said like the smallest penis in the world or something, but it was like the tiniest. It was like a micro penis. Mm-hmm. It was like, imagine a flat surface, and then just like a tiny like bump,
like a belly button. I seen like,
yes, like an Audi belly button is what it looked like. Mm-hmm. Like there was not even a full head. Like it was just the tip of a head. And nothing else. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow. Like, I should be so grateful, you know? Just to have, like, a normal penis.
Yeah.
Like, it could be so much worse, you know? And it's like, I don't even have an answer for those people, you know? Because I'm trying to think of, like, advice you can give to people with micro penises, and I just don't even know what to say. And that sounds so fucked up, but it's just like, I don't know. There's no way to make that better.
You know what they say?
Like, what?
As big as the Titanic was, it sunk.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good one.
Goddamn right it is.
What would you say, like, to somebody with a micro penis?
Okay, well,
let's both try.
You just gotta like, I would just be like, face the fact that you're like, well, if it's like that, because I feel like that is not just like a small penis. That's like an actual problem. Like you probably have something, you missed something, you know. Your mom probably did a line while you were pregnant.
Something, I don't know.
I should be like, well, you're probably not going to have sex, right? Or like if you can, it would be really difficult, you know? Right? Like if it's like barely, you know?
He could like the one I watched, like he couldn't put it in anything.
So I would just be like, just get as best as you can with like everything else.
Oral. And
but like accept the past, like whatever. Like it just, you got a fucking small dick,
like,
you know?
It, you know?
I mean, I'm sure it's like it's annoying, you know? But it's like your surgery, you know? Like it's like your breasts. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I was thinking about it already
breast.
In my head. I was like, oh, yeah, well, like, I had surgery to fix what I didn't like, you know? So it's like, there might be a surgery for that, but I don't know how much.
For me, it just sucks because it's like, sometimes you just like to play with it so much, you know? Or you just grab it. Like, just grabbing it to pee, whatever. It's like, if you have that, it's just like, how do you even you can't even pee. Like, you would have to just push, you know? To, like, point it down. I don't know.
I think I would say there's more to life than sex, for one. I'm sure there's women that are into it, you know? And I'm sure there's like a niche community of people that like it, you know? It's kind of like fetishized, maybe.
Sorry, can I just, before I lose this thought?
Yeah.
I was thinking, it's kind of weird, like a fine line, or I don't know, an interesting line. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, let's say, because we've talked about how we're on Reddit, right? And there's Reddit threads for a lot of things. Sometimes, like, kind of gross things like shit or something. Mm-hmm. You know, like you've seen that stuff where it's like, or the girl's like looks dirty, you know, like it's like, oh, like dirty this or whatever.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
just have fetishes for like gross things.
Anything,
too,
you know?
Yeah.
But also fetishes for like not social norms. So they'll be like big girls, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. Like say you find someone that like let's just say eventually you'll find someone that likes you, right? Do they ever think like, am I just a fetish, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's like, even if you do find someone that likes it, it's like, to like me for me, or is it just like me for
it's just weird because like, I don't know if that's messed up to the person that's a person, because it's like, okay, like why am I even thinking like this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like interesting because I don't know, like just like what we were talking about, like if you find some like that guy, let's just say the guy with the small dick, he finds someone that likes him, right? And would he always be like, wait, are you just are you into me because you also like kind of like that thing, you know? Like you enjoy it so much, or are you like this is just like a factor in the whole puzzle, you know?
I think if you find someone that likes you, it's just a good fit, you know? Because like I've heard sex like stressed a lot in relationship advice, kind of like in that world of like relationship therapy and stuff. Like people say how like important sex is, you know, and like the sex is working, you know. So I feel like it's just like a big plus, you know, if they like your personality and they like the way that your like penis fits for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like great, I think, you know.
And then but like I'm also thinking, you know, like a different scope. It is like same with like interracial relationships too, you know? Like
Do you just like maybe because I'm different than you?
exactly, you know, like you'll see this a lot with like American guys, and then they'll date like either like immigrants or just people who like like just came to this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But they never really like fully, I guess, like respect them in a sense. Like there's always like this power dynamic that's weird, but they find the like lady interesting because of like they're different, you know? Like, ooh, like you do this, but then they also don't like when they do certain things, you know? It's like they don't get to really see the person as a full person. But I think that's also because like woman and men dynamic as well, not just the race thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I was seeing this other video on Twitter where the girl was like blindfolded, and he was like, "Oh, what are you into?" And she's like I really like Asian guys. She's like, I really like anime and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the comments, they're like, it's like a little weird, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, when is it like your type versus like a fetish? And then like, how does that deter? Like, I'm sure there's so much that seems like you're interested in the person, but it's also kind of like something else, or vice versa, you know? I don't know.
This is not helping my overthinking at all. But no, I mean, fuck, dude, it's true. It's like, I don't know. We like what we like, but then if you read too far into it, it's like, why? You know?
Exactly.
Or is that the
like,
only thing you like?
It's kind of like frustrating because it's like you're never just gonna be right there in the middle of perfect of everything. You know, like anything you do is like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like more extreme, and sometimes it's like swept under the rug, like just for things that are, you know, like same with that. Like you could get a relationship that I'm sure you've seen and like say that's love, like the interracial relationship.
Yeah.
Like let's just say like with the like I said, the white girl with like an Asian guy, and then they fall in love and have kids, and they're like, oh, like, you know, like they're in love, but then like you like look into it and you're like, you just like kind of like fetished a little bit, you know?
Fetishize, and that's why you ended up in this relationship.
And same with the kids. Like, say I'm their kid.
Yeah.
Like now I'm just looking at it as this is how love looks like from mom and dad. But it's also like a weird dynamic, you know?
I don't know. That's just what physical attraction is, though, you know? Like, some people look at curly hair and they're like, oh my God. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like small things
hair,
where it's like,
so
oh.
it's like, wow. Like, that's what makes it up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, colored eyes. Wow. You know? Like, you're just blown away. But, I mean, fuck. It's what we like, you know? I feel like it's just biology.
I was thinking that, too, because I'm thinking of, like, the child-to-parent dynamic I was just saying earlier. About how like that just like for them that's normal, right?
Which one?
Right now with like the interracial couple, like if I was the kid, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was also kind of thinking like how we're saying the like uninformed versus informed and growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was talking to my brother-in-law, he was in the garage, and he was like, you know, he's kind of like playing with the music industry, you know, like he's trying to make stuff, music and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then my nieces were in the backyard. And I was just thinking, like, they don't see him at all in this sense. Like, you know? Like, they just see him as, like, dad, and then when they play and stuff, like, they have no idea what this guy is, like, into in a sense.
Yeah.
And same with, like, good and bad, you know? Like, I'm sure there's, like, a few bad things about him, you know? And
it's crazy the way that you look at your parents because, yeah, dude, being an adult now, I see shit through such a different, like, lens, and everything's so much more relatable with, like, parents and adults. I think we were talking about this recently, like, as a child, you just look at your parents like they fucking know everything. And they're so responsible, and, like, they'll protect you from everything. And, like, you know, they're just perfect almost. But then when you get older, you're like, damn, they're just like me. Like, they have flaws. They're just trying their best, you know? Like, they're doing what they think's best. They make a lot of mistakes, you know? Like, they just make fucking plenty of mistakes. And being a parent and shit. But yeah, it's like he's he's not really know what he's doing. Like in that sense with the music thing, it's like, at least that's how I interpret it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, he's still figuring out his way in life.
And with kids too, when we look at kids and they're always like, like kids are so innocent, they like get along and all that stuff. But it's like, it's just because they don't know, like they don't know certain things, or like they haven't themselves like developed their own thoughts, Yeah. So we're just the same. We've just gone like, we just know more, So like my niece could hate her dad in a sense if she grew up and he had like a different belief, but he's had this belief since she was a child and they were getting along like just fine, It's one, because she didn't even know that he had this belief, and two, she didn't have her own belief of her own, So it's like, it's crazy how like with time and more information, things get very like specific in what you like and don't like,
It's crazy when you grow up and then your views start to change from your parents, and you're like, damn, like that's growth. When you start like seeing shit that they do and you're like, I don't really want to do that, and then you start doing other shit or like believing something else, and then but then you maintain the relationship somehow,
It's weird, because I always say like, if my like a lot of times family isn't family, like you wouldn't be hanging out with your family if it wasn't family, And then same thing, how we're talking about how weird like everything we do is because of something, and think there should be no reason I should be disagreeing with my parents and family in a sense. But I have so many like outside factors. Like I go to school, like I see friends, I go on my phone, like all these outlets that just have like a billion different opinions and different like information
on you.
And I pick something else, Like this is crazy how like it just depends on who you're exposed to. Like you just drop one friend that like likes to skate, and now your whole life's just different. Like
Yeah, shit changes because different influences. Can I bring up something that's gonna totally derail this entire conversation?
Oh yeah, that's good. What is it?
Jaime told me and Lindsay the other day that he tried masturbating while he was driving.
God.
This is the last sex things. We've been talking about sex a lot. Okay. Can you explain that? You didn't really go into it a lot, so I'm curious.
Because when we had Linz, she was saying that she has to jerk off a lot or masturbate a lot.
She has to.
She strongly.
She jerks off or she touches herself 12 times a day. She said.
Or 12 finishes.
Yeah.
12 finishes. And so she would say like sometimes she has to like pull over to finish. Did she say while she was driving, right, as well? Or
I'm almost positive she said while driving, but it could have been pull over.
I think for sure pull over, but I don't know, maybe also driving. But in my mind, that kind of just like, oh, okay. Like I didn't even think of that really,
And I have another friend who also like masturbates in the car, female. But yeah, she, flicks the bean in the car, parked. Maybe driving though too. I'm not positive either, but for sure.
We'll follow up on that.
Anyways, yeah.
And I remember I was driving. I think I was driving to work or off work, and I was like, what? Why not? Like, why not? Like, let me just see. I was on my way to work. I think I was on my way to work.
On your way there?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's so much different. Like, I thought it'd be after a long day. Like, oh, fuck.
I think that's why I did it, because I just had so much, like, like sometimes when you wake up hard, you just have so much, like, sexualness in there, sexual hormones in there. So I remember being like, fuck it, let's do it, Yeah. But, I mean, like I said in the past, like, I'm super hyper aware of, like, people watching me and everything, Yeah. Like, I don't like kissing my like girls in a drive-through, because I think the people behind me in front of me is gonna see,
I hate that too.
So as I'm driving, bro, like it's not even that busy, you're passing a car, it's like 7 a.m. but it's going into Modesto, so a lot of people are leaving. So I remember like, I'm not gonna pass a car immediately. It's like every 10 seconds I'll probably pass a car, and like every time I just like, oh my God, like like, do I want to do it? Like, I just like kind of put it away, and then but they're not even like, they're not going to look, they're not even going to look at me,
And you have an SUV, so you're like a little bit higher.
Mostly, yeah, exactly. But then when I would be able to get a couple like seconds of just like consecutive like shrugs, I was like, that's not bad. Like, it's just so much. It's like you have so much like blood in your veins, I was like, Jesus,
you got that dog in you.
I got that dog in me, My dick's steering the wheel.
It's fucking changing the song and the volume.
Like, can I put the blinker on?
God.
And but it was quick. It was only like a little bit, and then I was like, all right, I can. Like a
How
couple. It was
long
like a
did you
couple.
go for?
Like like a couple minutes, but it was a lot of breaks in between because every
Would
time
you
I
like
passed,
hide it when a car would come? Would you like put your shirt
I would just
over it or
kind of. I
something?
think I would just like tuck it a little bit, put my shoulder over it, wait till they pass, and be like, all right, you know.
Did you think at any point like maybe I could actually climax doing this, or was it just purely for the?
It was just to
experience?
feel it, but I think
To
the
feel
only way I'd
something,
do
huh?
that if it was just to make myself go to work. The only way I would probably like finish is I'd have to like have like pants off because it's like you're so constricted.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be dark, and it had to be like a lonely like freeway, you know, very lonely freeway. Chill, you know, and then I had to like have the seat reclined, like I had to be like cozy and
Were
just
you on
kind
the
of going.
freeway? Where were you?
Yeah, I was on the freeway, you know. I was going 70 on that beat.
You're really just risking your life.
It's like, whoops.
You know what's crazy?
Imagine dying in that circumstance too.
That's
Crazy.
what I thought of. That's one of my first thoughts. Is imagine dying and your dick's out.
I'd be so pissed.
Your pants are at your ankles. It's crazy the influence your friends have, and like if your friend does something, you'll consider doing it so much more because once you said that story, I've thought about it on probably like 5 different occasions. Like I've been driving and just thought like, what if I did just take it out right now? You know?
That's it. That's all it takes is like, what if I
Slap
did
it
just
around
do
a little
it?
bit.
You know, like why haven't I even just like, why not? You know?
Yeah. So it definitely like crossed my mind. And then also like my friend, I'm going to bleep it. She's the one that like touches herself with the car too. And even when she first told me that she did it, I was like, huh, you know, started thinking about it. It's just so much worse as a guy though, I think, than as a girl. Like, let's fucking face it, dude. If you're a girl like in public, you know, one, it's so easy to conceal because you don't have to take your pants off or like unzip. You can just stick your hand in and like, you know, just
rub the thing.
Rub it. But guys, it's like you have to take a part of you out of your clothing. Like it's going to be exposed, you know? And even if it's not, like say you have your shirt over it or something, like you're still fucking doing like a vigorous motion, you know? It's just so risky. And then if you get caught, like if your girl gets caught, they're going to be like, are you serious? You
Yeah,
know?
it's
Or
like, what the hell? Like
somebody might be like disgusted, but it's like, oh, whatever. But if it's a dude, it's like, what the fuck are you doing, asshole?
You're a perv.
You know?
You know?
You're a fucking perv. And for life.
You're facing life, you know?
You're registered, you know? It's bad. So, yeah, I was talking to my friend about that. And she was like, you should try it sometime. It's pretty like, it's like a rush, you know? It's like a little bit of adrenaline. It makes it a lot more fun and scandalous. I'm just like, is it worth it? Like, imagine I get caught. Then what? Like, it's so not worth it, you know? But I could see the rush part of it. It's just like the exhibitionism, you know?
I don't know if I don't even think I'd do it.
She
like
was saying
in a
I should
park.
park somewhere. She's like, go to a parking lot.
But like, I wouldn't do it in a place that really had people because I think I would just like look at people and be like, huh. Like, you know, like it would just kind of.
It'd make me feel different about myself. I'd be like, am I jerking off to these people? And like, am I getting off knowing that they're not watching me? I just start questioning everything. Like, what's the motivation?
I think for me, it's more just location. Like, if it was an empty parking lot and I was just doing it, I think that's fun. Like, that's kind of nice because I'm like somewhere different, like finish, and that's that, you know? Like, that would be better at night, you know?
Maybe in front of a school would be a good one.
Yeah, I was thinking preschool specifically.
Oh, boy. You want to wrap it up here?
Yes. Any other topic that you want to say?
I know we had more, but we might just have to save them for next time.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to say this. 2 things here. First, about the hot shower topic. I want to stop. I think I'm done with it. I took a cold one before this pod, and it actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But whenever I take a hot shower, it makes my skin so fucking dry. Like, it dries me out, and I'm, like, itchy, but in such a, like uncomfortable way. I fucking hate it. Because that used to happen to me before I started the cold showers. I'd be super, like, dry every time after I'd shower. And that sucks, you know? So I think I'm going to go back to the cold. Also, it's just, like, I'm so ashamed every time after. Like, I'm just like, that was not worth it, you know? It feels good in the moment, but then you're done. Second thing I want to say, I felt so bad after talking about the micro penis thing. Because I did in my head, like, I don't mean it in a bad way, saying, like, I don't know what to say to you. Like, it's not like that. I'm just like
it's not like you have nothing to live.
I
it's
just
like,
can't even, like, I just don't even know, like, what advice to give, you know? And it's
sometimes you just don't have the advice, you know? It's okay.
We don't know everything, you know? So
I know it's hard to believe. I know you come here
for subscribers.
For your family issues, your friend issues, your anxiety issues. I know we're your therapist here.
You know what's nice is sometimes people tell me, like, your pod makes you feel like so much better, or like your pods helped me when I was in like darker places. Has anybody ever told you that? I've heard it a couple times.
I hear more people like have enjoyed it a lot. That's it. But never like I've heard he's talked about it a couple times, like that perspective, which is really nice to hear.
They're like, when I feel down, you guys make me feel better. I think it's because we're just really transparent, and we'll say when we're feeling like shit too, which is I think is comforting because it's super relatable. But other than that,
yeah, real quick, sorry about that. And it's crazy because sometimes I don't even think like sometimes I get on the pod and I'm thinking like, am I gonna be sad? Like too sad, I'm gonna be sad for the people because like I don't know how I'd be doing it sometimes, like
really.
Like, well, like I don't know. These couple of weeks have been like tough, but not tough, I don't know. I'm always sad, Yeah. And I think like, and I start getting in my head like, if I get on the pod, am I just like the same guy? Like I'm just like, am I having the same issues over and over again in a week? But then I go on the pod and I feel like we go in depth with different issues and like different topics where I'm like, no, like it's not just, I'm not just this or I'm not just saying this. Yeah, there might be repeat like topics or like concepts, but it's always like nice and refreshing. And like, I think people would have stopped watching if it was like the same old shit, I
got one more thing to say now too. I've been pretty anxious lately, and I think, damn, I didn't even talk about the whole fucking fiasco with my sister.
You can, real quick.
What are we at? Can you check where we're at? I've been anxious lately though because I don't know if anybody's wanting like an
15?
All right.
15 more minutes?
Yeah, fuck it. All right. You got what you wanted. I've been anxious lately, like more so than normal, because I think a big one that's been weighing on me is I don't have a job. I never even have really updated that because I haven't been employed since like May or June-ish. And I remember telling people that I quit and shit, which was nice, but it's just been days now, and I'm like, fuck. Like I have seen my bank account, drop and drop and drop. Exactly. And it's getting to the point where I'm like, okay, I need to find a job, But I just had such like a weird like mental block. I just can't. Like I cannot get myself to like sit down and fucking make the resume and look for jobs and apply, like knowing I'm gonna have to interview, like the whole process. It's been bad, dude. Like I just cannot get myself to do it. And it's making me like so anxious. And then also like insecure. I hate that's part of the reason I hate small talk is because like a big thing of small talk is like, so what do you do? And I don't do shit, So it's like, fuck, I hate that. Like the other day, my uncle, he took me out to lunch for my birthday with my fam. And I haven't seen him in a long ass time. And he was like, so what have you been up to? And I was like, nothing, just chilling. And then he was like, where are you working? And I was like, I'm not. And then he was just like, give me all this shit. And I was like, honestly, I deserve it. But it's just like, God, it's so uncomfortable. I fucking hate it. But he just kept taking digs like throughout the day. Like, I think we were talking about like having a family and kids and stuff. And I was like, I don't think I ever want to have kids, He's like, you don't even want to have a job. I was like, fuck. That was a good one. So good. But dude, yeah, I've been fucking stressed. So I finished my resume though this week, and I uploaded it to Indeed, and I was looking yesterday, put a bunch of jobs on my wish list. So that's good. There's just like sometimes I just need pressure to do stuff. Like it's that procrastination type of deal, like where you're not gonna do it until you have like that pressure to like really get you like, okay, I gotta do this.
We were talking about it before, and we were saying like how also a big thing about this is that he obviously doesn't necessarily like want to give up this lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, who would?
Why is the lines going up and down like that?
Were you fucking with the cord? Yeah, don't do that. You disconnected. You fuck. All right, bitches.
Yeah, well, it got disconnected.
All right, well,
and I'm sure we can talk about this another time.
I may shit the bed, so we're fucking done. But I mean, that was enough of a little story to wrap it up, I think.
Yeah.
And hella yelling because the fucking mics aren't working.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll finish whatever else, the other part, some other time. But thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Do your little spiel if you want,
All right, real quick. Thanks for 444 subscribers again.
Yep.
Thanks for getting us a lot of views consistently. Still at like 500 views on our last video, 600 views on the one before that. Tons of likes, tons of comments. Please, if you guys can, just comment whatever the fuck you want to say.
Yeah, we love the comments.
Yeah,
it's nice when people comment.
It really is. You're actually giving us feedback, which is like really nice. Not even feedback, but just like comments. It's just like,
yeah,
oh, that's nice.
I love to see what you like and what you thought was funny. So yeah.
And anything that pops into your little head.
Cute little head.
We'll let you know how the B&B goes. It's gonna be fun this weekend.
We'll let you know if I get overcharged or whatever the fuck.
Wish Chris a happy birthday because you guys missed it in between. Here's his Venmo. Be safe. Love you guys.